proceed.
That's a great question. Council Green, give us those rights for walking into the museum.
I'm not sure if very many of you are familiar with our ceremonies, but at least for me, I stand in the direction of the season. So here we are in the fall, so we're standing on the west side of the world. I have my children and niece and granddaughter with me, and we'll do a short ceremony, for bringing this canoe in and placing it in its home and things like that. And because I wasn't certain how we were going to proceed, I never introduced them to how I'm going to do this. Because generally what I do when I talk is I always step aside and let them finish the ceremony. But today I'll do it all. So anyway, the first thing we'll do is say a short prayer. Creator, thank you for today and all the good things you've done for each and every one of us. We thank you for the preparation and maintenance of this canoe. We thank you for the safe journey here. We trust that it will have a good home here and that it will be appreciated and respected by all people. We thank you for each and every one of us that are here today. All right. The first thing then, we'll walk around and you guys can move the cedar like this. And I'm going to put some cedar in the canoe and over here on the floor. The other thing that I generally do is, I didn't bring it up in time, is I have an empty chair. Bring that empty chair over here. Just set it right there. What this empty chair represents is my mentor, my tutor. So if I was to make a mistake, and I recognize I made a mistake, if I didn't know how to make a correction, I could take a time out. And if I had my tutor and my mentor here, and they were present, I could talk to them. Because I'm the only one that knows what I'm going to do today. If I make a mistake, all I can do is try to remember what I was taught. And then make my corrective action. But so far, no mistakes. So anyway, what we're going to do is, we're going to place down this dry cedar. You guys are going to come by and wave it. We'll go all the way around. And then when we go back the second time, we'll take the cedar and lay it down, one each on those holders. And then the rest we can put on a couple on the floor and the others in the canoe. All right? You ready to go? So anyway, there's a variety of ways of making sure this canoe is clean. And one way would be to smudge with our sage and cedar and other items that we have. The other one is to take our dry cedar. And cedar is a symbol of pureness and also longevity, so that if we're on our journey to the other side, that it's with us and it'll keep us safe and things like that. So what we're going to do is just sprinkle some cedar into this canoe on the floor and on the floorboards. You guys are going to come by. We go around twice, and then the second time we'll lay the cedar down on the floor and everything like that. All right? It's this, we all know what it is, right? Our canoe baler. So when I was, speaking at different events, I might take, some of my artifacts, and I always say, this item was used by the last person in the traveling family. And what is it? So we could get all types of guests. But what it was the canoe baler. So when you're paddling up and down the river, you'd take out the water and pour it out. The second thing then is there's probably not too many of us that, the older elders, the Indians, but I still have my grandpa's canoe. And when I was young, clear until I was 15 years old, well, even when I was 30, we would still use that canoe. It wasn't as long as this, but wider, and a different nose than what you have, and a different end. But what we would do is paddle up and down the river to, one is look, maybe two is to, get ready to go fishing or, check our net and things like that. But the other thing that we did is when we went up and down these rivers, Grandpa, Chupa, would have carrots. And we'd be paddling and everything, and then he would go this way or he'd go that way. And what happened is there were floating logs in the river. And they were stuck in the brush and in the bank. And that would be where the muskrats ate. So we'd go there and we'd put down 5 or 6 carrots because the muskrats would go there and eat. You could see, where they had wore that canoe or that log down. Then we'd go over here and we'd lay down some more carrots. The other thing that we did when we were traveling at night, and we had this canoe, the one I have, that if it's going to be dark and windy and rainy, and we wouldn't really know where we were when we were coming home, we would take a can, we'd cut a hole in it, and we'd leave a candle, so it'd be burning. So at 9 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night when we were coming home, we'd see that flickering candle, so we knew that it was at our landing. The other thing, I didn't expect this canoe, but one of the things that we have on our canoe is an eye. So in the morning, when you say your morning prayers, you look to the east and see the morning sun coming up and you're reading it. You say your prayers and you're singing your songs. If you're going to use that canoe, you take a bucket of water and you go to that eye and wash it. And what that was to do is to let that eye see, to keep you safe, so that you wouldn't, run into a big log or overturn in the river or something like that. But we had that eye. And then we would use it at night, and that was how come we came home to see that candle in the coffee pot, in the coffee can. A big Folgers coffee can. We'd have a hole in it, and that candle would be flickering. You should have your cameras up there. Okay, so there's a lot of stories about these canoes, and I'm glad that each and every one of you are here to listen to my words. And like a long time ago, we would say you're not supposed to record these items, you're not supposed to write them down, and you don't videotape them. What you're supposed to do is listen with your ears, feel with your hearts, and honor with your mind and your prayers. So for each and every one of you that are here today, thank you. The floor is open if there's any more speakers, like the person who made it, the person who traveled, or other people that participated in this preparation. So whoever else wants to speak, the floor is open.
So let me give you a little history. My name is Laura Antone. My wife is Laura, and we live up in North Bend, Washington, in the Snoqualmie Valley. So in 2011, we were requested to work on a canoe, a river canoe. And we have a friend, a very good friend, Felix Solomon from Lummi tribe. And he said, I have a log for you. I have some logs up here. I said, great. So we went up to his property, and he had a bunch of logs on his property. This particular tree was laying there, and he chose that tree. And he told us later that that tree was at Semiomi, which is on the Canadian border. And he said that back in around, I think it was 2007, 2008, it was 5 elders that surrounded the tree. And they did a ceremony, and basically they said, we see a canoe, we see a canoe. And I do know 2 of the names, besides Felix. There was Bill James, and there was Viola there present. I'm sure Viola and Bill James, those were 2 of the elders besides Felix that were present. Now the other 2 elders, I don't have those names of, but we can find them, because that'd be very important to know that. So today, we have a poll, because from what I was taught by my mentor is Felix Solomon. Felix is a well-respected carver. He said that this kind of canoe would have a pole in it to be, for its historical accuracy. But we also have paddles to put into the canoe. But today I have 3 paddles. Now one of these paddles I'd like to give to you and leave the other 2, and I'd like to honor you today. So we would like you to pick your favorite shape to take with you for free as a gift and to honor you today. So if you want to look at these and choose the one that you'd like. So yeah.
Whenever we walk in the clockwise, 9, 10, 11, and 12. You don't ever go backwards. I guess you could go backwards, but I've never learned how to go backwards. Always forward.
I did.
Yeah, you know how to go backwards? That's good. This one looks really nice. What we do at home, when we get a gift, when we give the gift, we bow our heads and we lift it up. You go like that, and then you give it to the person who's the recipient.
Okay.
Bow your head, lift it up. That's so the creators can see what you're giving away. Bring it down, give it to me. I receive it, I bow my head, I lift it up. And sometimes we use the words chako, chako, look what I have received. So we do like that and we bring it down. That way it's a formal transfer and no one can say that, I stole it or he shouldn't have done that. This is in writing a transfer of ownership and possession. More speakers?
Anybody else want to say anything? Oh, you got something. You can speak.
What do you want to say? The only thing about ghosts
No, we're talking about the canoe. We're talking about the canoe.
He's heard some stories that there are ghosts in this museum. So you don't mind if you ask a question about that?
No.
Okay.
Okay,
Go ahead, ask a
okay, you
question.
said it's okay.
Come up inside. You have to come up and over the other. I'll come to you then.
You're okay.
He's gonna get you. Go, I'll turn it, I'll take you. Go.
Go ahead, you can speak. I come to listen to you so I could hear you clearly and you didn't have to speak so loud. Your question or your statement? Were you here when they were making the canoe? Anything you want to say is okay. All right. Now, you were present when the canoe was made also?
Yes.
If you want to speak, the floor is open.
Well, I was gonna ask Bob to elaborate on the steaming of the canoe, and, that was a ceremony that we attended, but he can elaborate better than us.
Okay.
And you have anything to say?
Well, I got in on the.
Loud.
I got involved. I don't like to get up and talk.
Okay.
But anyway, I was part of the crew that went over to Vancouver Island. And,
Oh, that's different.
That was a different one, that was a different one.
He's thinking of it.
This one was, from the border.
That's okay.
Are there any more speakers?
I guess I could talk about the steaming if you'd like to.
So when this person was speaking, he was talking about Bill James. I've known Bill James since 67, 68. And Vi Hilbert and I were storytellers together in 85 and 90. We used to go to different festivals and storytelling shows. And we'd be speakers. And Vi was the elder and I was the younger. And so, whenever we were made introductions, if I was introduced first, I would say, thank you for the honor. I said, but Vi Halbert is the senior, the elder. And it's her to choose when she will speak. She can talk and say what we're going to do, or after everybody else has talked, then she can talk about what we did and wrap it up. So I knew her quite well. Now that Sheila Solomon might have been Sheila Strong. This is a museum type worker.
Felix Solomon. Felix.
Yeah, oh, Felix, not
Felix,
Sheila.
Felix, yeah.
Oh, okay, no, I don't know that person. So, when we talk about elders, all my elders are 100 years old. When I was young. When I was 30, these people were 60 or 70. So now I'm 70, and those people would be 110 or 120 or something like that. So if you're younger, I don't know really who you are. And I stay home a lot now. I don't travel often. But I really appreciate this invitation to be here today and to share these few items that I know with you.
Thank you very much. So we did the traditional steaming ceremony at Lummi Reservation. Felix Solomon was the mentor at that. And in the old days, he said that folks used lava rocks to heat up. But in this case, we used V8 engine locks because on the reservation you have a lot of cars. They're out in the brush, and you can use that material. You can take a V8 engine block right out of that car and use it to heat it up. So we filled this. The group filled this. There's about 175 people that showed up that day, and we filled this canoe with water, and then there were 2 fires on each side. And the method that we were taught is that 6 feet from the dead center of the canoe, 6 feet exactly was a fire on each side. And then basically that helps pull it open, spread it open. At a certain point, it took 14 hours of heating up that water and that steam to the point where this vessel finally opened up like a flower and started to spread. And that day it was, we gave away a gift to everybody that came. So all 175 people got a gift that day that came to them. And that was the best, that we could do with what we understood for tradition. So that was a big deal. That was a very big deal. Anybody else want to say something? Laura, you got anything? I was put her on the spot.
Well, it's really a nice looking canoe. It's longer than what I have, but not as wide.
Okay.
And you need a seating back, because when I was young, Grandpa Chupa would be sitting in back, and all he had to do was steer. So we go right or left or straight ahead. And me and my brother and my sisters and everything, we were only 5, 10 years old, 15 years old. And we had the paddle. But when we were young, it was easy going down river because all I had to do was float. And we'd feed those muskrats. And then up here you could see the wood ducks. And over here on top of the river you could see the salmon coming home. And so all you had to do was just float, just paddle. But after we got 15 or 30 fish in the canoe, it got heavy, you turned around, then you had to go upriver. That's how come Grandpa would always take us. He needed paddlers. I mean, that was how come we were really there, because he could get down the river by himself and it was full, it'd be a 3-hour trip, but if we had all the young people, it'd only take us 1 hour and 45 minutes or something. But, I remember those days quite well. Anyway, this is a really nice canoe. I've done the things necessary to clean it, to honor it, to have it placed on its new home, and, that's it. Oh, how come I go like this at home? We seldom or hardly ever touch hands. Because what we think is when we shake hands and everything, those people are trying to get our commandments, our spirit. They're trying to catch us, take something away from us. So at home, we always just go like this. And if you're young, maybe you haven't been taught. But for people my age and older, we just sit there and look, we raise our hands like this, and we never go like that. But when we're, shaking hands with other people, I guess like in Rome, we love the Romans or something. And that's a come, you always see me going like this. Well, thank you.
Good, Bob, I was gonna say one more thing. The canoe was tested twice and on the water, and the first time was at Rattlesnake Lake on Bob's 40th birthday with he and his 2 boys. They took the canoe out on the lake, very seaworthy, and then once it was completed a few weeks ago, it was tested on Lake Easton, and quite a number of people went for rides in the canoe. It's just very seaworthy. Anyway, just thought I'd add that.
We had some tribal, skippers, tribes there.
Oh, that's right.
Last day of